Alpha males, rise up. Let me hear your battle cry.
Alright, so today we're talking about one of these alpha male guru types named Andy Elliott. Now, he's not a typical alpha male person in the sense that he's preaching masculinity and like how to get 1,000 girlfriends in one night using the penis method or whatever they would call.
The easier the method, the more it's going to be successful because people do not want to put in effort into anything. So there's a reason this probably would actually sell.
Call it, right? The foreskin tactics. He is a salesperson. Andy Elliott is the founder and CEO of the Elliott Group. He is celebrated as the
But of course, the group he has is named after him. That just makes perfect sense as always.
proclaimed #1 sales trainer, having trained an astounding 11,000 companies and 600,000 salespeople. Now that's good, and those are some pretty good accolades to stand on.
11,000 companies? Wait, did he just say it's good? That's good accolades?
600,000 salespeople. Now that's good, and those are some pretty good accolades to stand on. But I will say, I've seen a lot of this guy's content pop up on YouTube.
What do you mean that's good accolades? That's fake. 11,000 companies? Now, there's probably some kind of thing where he just, has his website, and then he has like a thing that is called how to grow your company and be successful. It's like 2 pointers: be cool, be alpha. And if someone clicks on it and he counts that as a company, maybe then he has 11,000. But listen, do you know how long it takes to train a company at anything in the modern day? Minimum a week. 11,000 1 week. Okay, let's assume it's 1 week. Let's be completely generous. 1 week. So 11,000 companies 1 week. There's 52 weeks in a year. That is roughly 2,050 years. 2,050 years of time. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb here and say that that guy has not trained 11,000 companies, because I don't think he's a 2,000-year-old vampire. And even if he was at that point, 2,000 years ago, there were not really that many sales companies. Also, wait, was that actually correct, Matt? 10? Oh no, excuse me. 200 years. 200 years. 210 years roughly. Anyway, still needs to be a vampire. Okay? Not happening. Not happening. Okay, let's say there's 2 people teaching this stuff and it's a week. Well, that would still be 100 years worth of time. It's not. This is fake, obviously.
Shorts, where he'll host these seminars where he's trying to train people to become the best salespeople ever. But some of these seminars and some of these talks that he gives toward the crowd of people that attend aren't relevant to sales at all, and some of them really don't make any sense. And keep in mind this whole time, right, people show up to these not for free. They have to pay a lot of money. Some cases, some people fly from across the country to see this person speak and teach them how to live a better life and whatever. And I'd say some of the advice he gives is just generally bad. Some of it isn't bad, but rather cringe. Some of it's not very useful, and some of it is just utter nonsense. So let's take.
Well, a lot of good advice is cringe because no one wants to do it. That's kind of true. Again, want extremely cringe but absolutely great advice: learn to dance. Obviously, most of you are not gonna do it because you're men, but it is super useful.
Take a look at this first thing I've seen here.
Stop following instructions. Quit keeping your mouth shut. I'm a rule breaker. I don't want to follow the rules of society.
All right, we've got a contradiction within the first 2 seconds, brother. So you go, stop following instructions, which is an instruction.
That's not a contradiction, actually. He's obviously implying that to a situation when you're working and then people set rules for you that you need to follow. That's the thing. He's not talking about all the rules. He's talking about very specific rules, and that's blatantly obvious, so okay.
Contradiction within the first 2 seconds, brother. So you go, stop following instructions, which is an instruction in itself. But I'm not gonna nitpick him. I get what he's saying. I'm just giving him a hard time.
Quit keeping your mouth shut. I'm a rule breaker. I don't want to follow the rules of society. Stop conforming.
I like his path.
That is actually something a lot of successful people will also tell you, and legitimately successful people that have money, but they're not actually scam artists, most likely. That you if you're gonna follow the rules set by other people for you, you're never gonna succeed, because people don't set out rules for other people to succeed. You need to take risks, you need to do things that other people don't, and things like that.
Ashton, first of all, interesting tactic to have the water bottle mic in the same hand. This just seems very uncomfortable. He's got some sort of like a talon grip on this thing. Doesn't seem comfortable, but again, he's not conforming to societal standards where most people would say, hey, just hold that in your other hand and free up some space in this hand to hold the mic better. He would say, no, I have one hand, I can fit a lot of stuff in this thing, all right? Yeah, I mean, again, this is like general advice of like, oh, don't conform to societal standards. It's good if you apply it properly, if you want to...
Yeah, that's it. This is not kind of like super bad advice. It's super bad advice if you completely willingly take it out of any form of reasonable context. If you... See, I don't like all of these gurus and whatnot, but I do think they are important because they do actually help people who don't understand anything and have not set any kind of rules and standards of living. And that's important. If you don't have rules and standards to live by, well, bad things are going to happen probably. You're not going to achieve a lot, and, that's bad. So these people, I kind of like them on the sense that, hey, if someone doesn't have rules and they say stuff like this, even if it's complete garbage, and in this case what he showed wasn't even that bad, honestly, if you're not an idiot, you're still gonna at least figure out, wait a minute, the stuff they are saying is complete trash, so I should not at least do this. So you're getting there. You're slowly actually bettering yourself and getting there by understanding, wait a minute, what these people are saying is bad. Maybe I don't know what's good currently, but I at least understand what's bad and what I shouldn't do.
Started business and people are saying, oh, I don't know, it's risky, but you genuinely believe in it, then obviously go for it, chase your dreams. But I don't know, just some of the presentation of it just can come across kind of contrived and forced, I would say.
Everybody that's telling you you're okay the way you are, go look.
Bro, this guy is just on so much juice.
Get your ATM account. Are you good? No.
Yeah, because after I paid $500 to see you speak, of course my wallet's hurting a little bit. You damn near put a hole in my wallet, bro. It's on fire. $500 to hear you speak about how much money I don't have. Brother, you took it. Give it back.
They're lying to you. Your marriage. You're sleeping in the same bed.
Okay, now he's, again, this is sort of the thing where...
That's a lot of randomness.
It's it doesn't just stop at don't listen to society standards, walk on your own 2 feet, start something great, be a remarkable, exceptional person, a generation-defining human, then it's you're broke. Okay, well, I guess so. Your marriage sucks. Okay, well now what are we talking about here? Your dog hates you. Your own dog doesn't even want to look at you. He doesn't smell you anymore. He doesn't lick you like you used to. The cashier at the grocery store you shop at no longer tells you to have a nice day. It's all right, Andy, what are we even getting at here? Keep in mind, this guy is supposed to be a sales coach. Now we're talking about you're sleeping in the bed with your wife and you need to get 10 Blue Chews in order to even have a conversation with her now. It's what?
You don't have sex every night. Your kids don't look up to you guys. You're living in a fucking life.
People pay to see this guy, by the way.
Oh, wait, that's just... Oh, wait, now I get it. He's just describing what a bad life is and what you don't want. Because, let's face it, do you want anything of the things that he said? Probably no.
It must be some sort of humiliation ritual to give him money for him to shit on you. Bro, give a homeless guy $5, he'll degrade you for 30 minutes straight to he'll burn you to a crisp, and this guy's doing it for $500 with a mic and a camera crew and an audio visual team making sure he's coming through clearly.
And we're gonna draw the line in the sand today.
Yeah, that is called, forgot the name, but it's but it's just, manipulation method from psychology. Appeal to authority. I mean, his course is $500, so it must be good. Remember, bigger price, better quality thing. That's what most people believe. And, well, he's an authority figure. He has sold, 200 years of coaching in his lifespan of maybe I don't know, how old is this guy? 40, 50? I don't know. But in any case, you get the point.
Everybody, write this down. From today forward, we will no longer tolerate
Also, was that like just two people clapping?
weakness.
Yeah, what most of this had to do with one another, I don't know. He's talking about your kids won't look at you. What? Your ATM does.
Wait, well, yeah, if you talk about this way, then it's definitely out of context. I can bet 100 actually everything I own. I'm completely fine betting everything I own on the fact that the idea that the full context of that is this is the person you do not wanna be. Especially hearing these words just now. Yeah, that's just, this is the person you don't want to be. You don't want to be the loser whose wife hates you. You don't want to be the shitty dad whose kids hate you. You don't want to be spat on and whatnot. Those are all reasonable things. Do you want to be a loser? Probably not.
Doesn't work. What? Your wife doesn't like you. What? Like I just don't know what the message of this is, right? He starts off with something pretty clear, like, oh, defy societal standards, and now it's like, don't be weak or else your kids will hate you. What do those two things have in common? Tell me, Andy.
Come here. I'm gonna grab this guy
I mean, a lot, honestly.
in the pink hat. Come here real quick. Come here. Let me show you what I'd fucking do with him. Steve, how old are you?
52.
Steve is 52 years old. I could call him Comeback Steve. If you'll physically get right and you'll take care of your family, you'll make more money than you know what to do with. Steve, take your shirt off.
Well, I mean, implying that you can do those things, I guess you're probably hitting your wife's life. Your wife's not wife. So your life is probably decent, but that's a kind of a far-fetched thing.
Come on, Steve.
Damn, Stevie
What?
boy.
What are we doing here? What is the point of this? Are you gonna be like, oh, you're not in great shape, and that's
He's gonna have sex with him right there on stage.
why you're depressed? And if you get in great shape, you won't be depressed? Did you need Andy Elliott to tell you that?
Okay, listen. I'm gonna give Steve $10,000. Okay? Listen.
To do what?
And that's fuck you money for Steve. Like, but I'm gonna give.
Oh man, the fake like nice guy thing is like, yeah, I'll give him 10K, but that's nothing for Steve. It's I don't know how to explain it, bro, but it's just a certain like slimy snake oily way of like getting him to follow orders or something, you know? It's like if I tell someone I'm gonna give them 10K if they do something for me, but then I say, yeah, but 10K is nothing for you. It's as if like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they're thinking, well, no, 10K is not nothing for me. 10K is a big deal, but if he thinks that it's not a big deal for me, then he's probably he really believes in me. He's really confident in me. It's like I don't know. It seems like a
No, that's not how it works. You say you give them 10K. This is just a thing so they don't ask for the 10K because they are supposed to be better than the 10K. So this is how strategies like that work. I'm gonna give you 10K. But by the way, this only works in front of a crowd because the crowd's already pumped and they believe what that guy's saying, right? So, Steve, I'm gonna give you 10K, but you don't want 10K because you're worth more, aren't you, Steve? And then it's peer pressure, everyone's yelling, yay, and Steve and whatnot. And he's like, yeah, I don't need those 10K, I'm worth more, you're gonna make more. That's pretty much the strategy I would imagine he employed. Well, that's what I would do at the bare minimum.
like a loophole to get into someone's brain.
If in 120 days, which will give you 4 months, which he's not that out of shape, okay, he can get a six-pack. Okay, now who thinks Steve can do it? All right, you gonna take me up on this?
Okay, well, that's completely different. I forgot he told him to take the shirt off. But, you know, the idea is the same.
Okay, good. I love it.
See, the crowd is still, you know, cheering and whatnot. He's like, okay, good. No, I don't want the 10K now. I just want a six-pack.
Hey, I mean this.
Hey, I mean this. I'll give him 10K. I really do. I really mean it. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Can you actually even get a six-pack without any supplements and whatnot? Okay, it's the roids. Let's just use roids. I think we're deep enough in the video, right? Can you even get the six-pack without roids in 4 months? I don't think it's possible.
100% this guy never got his 10K and never got his refund for showing up to Andy Elliott Con either. Meanwhile, we got all these people in the audience who had to see him take off his shirt. Yeah, built like a Monsters Inc. character. That was great. I'm sure he's really happy about that.
He's 52. Come on, dude. Like, chillax. The guy's 52. It's not honestly even that bad. And plus, he's American. He's probably like the top 3% most fit people in America. In all age groups. What do you mean?
Yeah, built like a Monsters Inc. character. That was great. I'm sure he's really happy about that.
That was uncalled
Garrett, take your
for.
shirt off.
Again, what's with the whole... Okay, at a certain point, you gotta wonder, like, it has to be a kind of humiliation ritual. Do these people just come to see him to be requested to remove garments?
Come on, Garrett.
He's rushing him. He's doing it. He's physically taking out. Come on, Garrett. Any day now. By the way, very funny too. Not that this main speech had any sort of legitimacy or point to it, but the whole thing is like, don't follow instructions. Tells him to take off his shirt 3 times, and he does it. He should just say no. Hey, you told me not to follow instructions, so I'm not gonna listen to your bald ass. Take your ass back to the Mr. Clean.
Oh, by the way, I just want to ruin everyone's day who's laughing about this. Okay, listen, because you think it's stupid. Because it is stupid. I think it's stupid. But, you know, most of us are thinking this is stupid. Now, let me ruin your day and completely shatter your already non-existing self-esteem. Because, you know, I just like doing things like that. Listen, if you think this is stupid, but you have watched any kind of self-help shit, or even looked in the direction of a book of self-help and betterment and how to get more proactive and things like that, congratulations. You literally attended this guy's speech but for free and from another person. You're literally no better than these people that paid 500. The difference is they had 500 to pay. You poor fuck didn't, loser.
Commercials.
Garrett, how old are you?
29.
Garrett, does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
The
Okay,
touching
you?
or
Oh, dude,
the what?
the gum chewing. Garrett. You know, Garrett, just bother you? It's like just very. There's a certain.
Oh, that
type
was gum chewing? I couldn't even tell. No one chews gum here.
of person that I feel like Andy Elliott really represents. It's like that gum chewing.
Also, who the hell chews gum so you can hear it like? What kind of animal are you? Is this like a common American problem?
Just something about just everything about him just feels like a profile. Like I've seen people like him who don't do what he does, but they're just a lot of the same sort of characteristics, behavioral manifestations, a lot of same idiosyncrasies, and it just bugs me. You know, he's like a final boss of all those things.
Does this bother you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
bother
it
you
is
enough.
chewing.
If it did, it wouldn't have you. Okay, interesting. Yeah,
I don't like the sound, but I didn't think it's chewing.
I mean,
Wow.
that line of thinking is great until you realize that it's actually retarded. So it's like, yeah, tell someone something that they don't like. Hey, do you not like having diabetes? Yeah, actually, really.
Okay, the point is probably going to be standing up for yourself. At least I would assume that's what it leads to, right?
Bothers me. Well, you clearly don't hate it enough, because if you hated it enough, you wouldn't have diabetes. So you got cancer, right? Yeah, it's really bad. The chemo took all my hair off. Something you can relate to. It's not great, isn't it? Yeah, but
Dude, Idubbbz wishes he fucking died, not live the current life he's living.
you know, you clearly don't hate cancer enough, because if you did, you wouldn't have it. It's like, bro, I don't think it's that simple. And the thing is, like, working out obviously isn't, you know, to that same tier, and you have some level of agency and autonomy to how you present physically, you know, the amount you weigh.
I mean, you have literally all the agency in the world about that, to be fair.
The amount of muscle mass you have, that sort of stuff, you can control that, right? But the truth is, like, there are, of course, some people that, based on their lifestyle and what they're required to do, they just won't have time to go to the gym, and I'm not justifying
That's bullshit. What the fuck are these people, slaves?
that, right? Obviously, you can always find time to do some working out, but the people with the most time, I would say, have...
I mean, also, okay, if you don't have time to work out, okay? Sure, just eat fucking less. Being fat is literally just the fact that you eat too much calories. You can't be fat unless you eat too much. It's literally physically impossible.
the least excuses to not be in shape. So I'd say the amount of free time you have should coordinate with how in shape you are. And obviously the opposite is true as well. Like the less free time you have, the less I'm expecting you to be in peak shape, you know? I think that's somewhat fair. Not to, you know, make excuses, but if you're working like 12 hours a day and then on top of that you have a sick mother you have to watch, and then on top of that you have kids, I mean, it's like, are you really gonna have time to get like a 3-hour workout regiment in at Equinox? Probably.
Nah, you're just gonna eat less.
not. But yeah, again, the whole thing too is like, are you really needing to fly out to see this guy give this conference where he chews gum and shit talks you and takes off your shirt? And this guy's supposed to train people in sales. What about sales was learned here at all? This is also interesting to talk about and worth putting in the video. Andy Elliott had a bunch of articles written on him after a clip from one of his seminars was released where he claimed, if you don't have a six-pack, you can't work for me.
I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a
That's illegal.
six-pack, you don't work for us. It's called, everybody say standard.
I mean, there's probably some dumb loophole to make it non-illegal, but you know I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
How about we raise them?
Because that's no wait. Well, it shouldn't be illegal. Discriminating against fat people should be a right.
Very interesting. So, very interesting criteria. Now, honestly, that criteria does make sense in some business roles. Like if you're to be a personal trainer or something in, you know, physical space, then obviously that makes a lot of sense. Or like modeling or something like that. But this guy is a salesperson. He's teaching people how to sell things and how to, you know, connect with people and get them to want to buy stuff. Very mental. I would say actually one of the jobs that doesn't require much physical aptitude in really any sort of way.
Yes, it does. Being a salesperson requires a shit ton of physical aptitude, arguably more than brains. Listen, if you're ugly, you're never going to be successful in sales. All the successful people in sales are good looking and appealing. The halo effect is real. It doesn't matter what dumbassery you say, that's not going to change. People who look good, people who are lovely, people who are beautiful are 100% better than you if you're ugly. 100 at everything, in fact. They're just better at everything. They're gonna beat you at everything because no one wants to be around an ugly loser like you. But beautiful people, now that's a different ballgame.
You could be a fat fuck and still sell people stuff. That's a very possible thing. But yes, we got a lot of articles written about him for that take, and he made this video kind of responding to it, and I think it's worth looking at.
So for all the people that say six-pack or you're fired, screw that guy.
Bro, he's on so much steroids. I mean, his nipples aren't rocks, they're literally rockets at this point. Jesus.
Hey, screw you!
Bro did the alpha male version of Uno reverse card, brother. Reddit, no you.
Because it doesn't even mean six-pack or you're fired, dumbass.
What? Six-pack or you're fired doesn't mean six-pack or you're fired? That's the most inarticulate, incoherent thing I've ever said. That's exactly what those words mean. Those words don't mean exactly what those words mean. Unless he's saying he doesn't do that, then I'm not sure what he's getting into here. Oh, no way. Yes! Yes! Oh my, yes, bro. This is awesome. Wait till he hears that the person who made this intro for 15 hours straight on his computer may not have a six-pack. That's not good.
Guys, everybody's
nice picture too, the lion
Dude, that means he's not getting paid. That's good.
The background. People who use apex predators to convey strength and masculinity are some of the corniest people I think I've ever seen. Like, if you have a picture of like a tiger or a lion in your room in front
if you have a Lamborghini, because that's a fucking stallion, you're probably a loser.
Of a camera or like in your podcast studio to like, you know, mentally convey strength and power, and you won't give your enemies any mercy. It's like, I actually think it's very corny, and I don't think it makes me feel any sort of way other than cringe.
Understand this. Have a six-pack or you're fired is very simple. I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. We're in an era right now where men aren't being the example for other men anymore, and I didn't know when that was ever okay. In my company...
True, men are bad.
I'm a coach. What does that mean? That means I coach people how to have a better life, how to be better for their families, how to look in the mirror, love who they are, how to be...
Elliot, listen, no one gives a shit.
Their children's heroes, how to kill it in business, how to get everything they want in life.
Okay, 100%, but wouldn't you say that killing it in business, like to a crazy extent, let's say you're making 7 figures a year, you're a millionaire and making millions of dollars every single year, wouldn't that mean that you are an example for other people? Like, if you're killing it in business and you're leading in that respect, and you're literally making millions of dollars, would you not say that people would look up to you and respect you, even if you're maybe a little...
Not necessarily, no. Who the fuck looks up at Bill Gates and respects him? No one. Who the hell looks up at Zuckerberg and respects him? No one. Being respected is a little bit more than saying, I'm a billionaire. No, absolutely not.
little bit chubby, not even a little bit chubby, maybe just like in normal shape, but no six-pack. I mean, I feel like that's totally fine.
What will you do? You'll run around, you'll be depressed. You'll be another
Well, the six-pack is definitely not mandatory, right?
person just lagging around, lazy,
Lagging
not working
around.
hard, not caring about their image. I am a salesperson. There's 3 things that are important to me about salespeople. Number 1, their image, how they look, right? You got to get an image coach. So what does that
Hey, he's right. If you, again, there's no way you're ugly and successful in sales. It doesn't happen. Deal with it.
mean? You got to take care of yourself. You got to be fit. Number 2, you got to learn how to speak. Number 3, you got to learn how to sell.
Okay, bro, like, no. Number 2 and number 3 should be...
No, speaking is more important than the ability of selling. If you speak... Dad! Am I actually defending this guy because the Cheetos takes are retarded? Kind of fucking feels like it. Okay, listen. Speaking is not the same as selling. Speaking is more important because speaking implies that people also like what you say. First, you need to look good so people pay attention to you. Then you need to be able to be like, hello? Do you like cornbread? Yeah, you need the ability to not do that. If you have the ability to not do that, then that's good. Because people who like you are gonna buy your shit. That's more important than selling. The best salesmen are not people who go up to people and say, hey, do you want to buy this? No. They ask around how your family is. They look at you and they figure out that you're a fan of basketball, and then they start talking shit about basketball. Then they figure out that you're a Biden supporter or a Trump supporter, and then they call you the right type of person because you understand how the world functions. That's what talking is. That is not selling. And it's more important than selling. Actually, this guy is completely right, at least about that. I don't know if he's smart enough to know that he's right about that Elliot dude, but at the bare minimum, he's accidentally correct.
Be number 1 and number 2. Selling? Isn't that the number 1 point of sales?
No.
It's like, does this guy think if you...
Yes, no, again, no. That's not the number 1 point. It's arguably, if I think a little bit, arguably it's going to be probably 5 or 6 at the end of the day. Because there's just... The act of selling, again, if it was as easy as say, hey, do you want to buy this? Then people would buy this. But they don't. That's because selling is not important. It is what everything you do before that.
You go to the gym and you get in great shape. And like people...
Okay, let me give you the easiest example. Who do you think is going to sell more? A guy who comes up to a person and says, do you want to buy this shit? Or someone who goes up to a person and demonstrates their product first in some kind of way that it looks good? It's going to be the guy that makes the product look good, not the guy who's... God.
People are just gonna buy stuff from you more.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna end this before I actually end up defending this absolute roid raged filled bald fuck more. Because I'm not saying that this guy is good. He's clearly bad. But all the points I have heard currently are kind of just like boring and very one-dimensional and not even thought out through, honestly. So we're gonna quit while we're ahead, boys. Anyway, bye-bye. That was a Cheeto.